Great. Well, good morning. It's Tuesday, March 24th, 2026, and you've joined us here at the Fort Collins Area Chamber of Commerce for our Tuesday Talent Series. We're so excited to have Rachael-Jayne with us today. She's an international keynote speaker, a TEDx presenter, an accomplished mentor who helps leaders and entrepreneurs master the energy that fuels inspiring leadership and influence. She bridges the worlds of high performance and energetic intelligence, teaching the practical foundations of unshakable presence, the art of being centered, magnetic, and compelling while under pressure. As the founder and CEO of the Awaken School and in Inc. 5000 company, is that how you say that?
Think
Sorry.
5,000,
Inc.
yes.
5000, I was thrown by that.
Yeah.
Rachael-Jayne has built one of the most respected personal and professional development brands in the world. Her signature framework, Unshakable Presence, has impacted more than 15,000 people globally. A former professional performer who has appeared before live audiences of over 40,000 people, my goodness, Rachael-Jayne brings a dynamic stage presence infused with authenticity, humor, and depth. She teaches what it takes to be seen, heard, and trusted in the spotlight, remaining unshakable when everyone's eyes are on you. All three of her best selling books, Unshakable Inner Peace, Powerful and Feminine, and Divine Breadcrumbs, help people become the most grounded, magnetic, and impactful versions of themselves. Whether speaking to Fortune 500 teams, visionary entrepreneurs, or executive leaders, Rachael-Jayne delivers more than just inspiration. She offers a proven method to personal mastery and leadership presence that transforms individuals, teams, and organizations from the inside out. We are honored and thrilled to have Rachael-Jayne with us today. And Rachael-Jayne, I'll let you take it away.
Thank you, Yvonne. Thank you so much, and for everything you're doing at the chamber. It's really such a powerful community. We're a member, and just happy to be here today to be of service of the things that have massively changed my business over the years. Really around awakening the room, awakening people to lean into your offerings. Also, what we'll get to is kind of the fear or sometimes the things that come up in our own nervous system and our own psyche when we're like, I'm supposed to be awakening the room. I'm supposed to be, seen and heard, because that is not always that easy. As Yvonne was like, 40,000 people? What? It's a whole thing to really lean into you being the inspirational face of your business, you leaning into more offerings, you leaning into better sales. I mean, all of the things that we need to be good at as founders and what have you. So I'm excited to get into it. I see John's joined us, Chalice is here. Robin, I know I can't see, but someone just told me about you this morning with a people factor. I'm like, what? And then she's just like, you're right there. So apparently we're supposed to be connected somehow. Lisa, Sandra, Slate, and Andrew. If at all you could pop your cameras on at any point, that would be amazing. Because that would save Yvonne from being my hot seat person, because I'm going to coach someone today, or maybe a few of you that really want to be exceptional in their presenting of what they're doing, of having it be a lot easier for people to get you, to respond to you, to lean in. And I think as founders and the ones leading the charge, oh, Lisa, we get Lisa on the camera. Thank you. Is it's so much of the job that we do, whether we lean into that or we don't. So just a little bit about why I was so passionate about this in the beginning and how it's morphed. And then I'm going to share some of the most powerful practices of the body of work that I teach. And if anyone is interested in doing more, I've got a free training at the end. So know that there's plenty more there, and I'm happy to get you all connected to that. But hello, Sandra. Great to see you too. And Chalice, thank you. It's just, Yvonne, don't you feel like seeing people's faces? It's just a whole nother beautiful thing.
Yes. I
Um,
agree with you.
hmm. So just a little bit of why I started this. I have always had a push-pull challenge with I want to be seen as a speaker, an entrepreneur, as a change maker in some way, and I don't want to be seen. I would just prefer to like have someone else market me and kind of hide. I'm an introvert. I'm naturally shy. I've learnt how to, you know, be social, but I could spend many months on my own. I don't know if anyone else feels like they're in the shy introverted category, but that is definitely me for a long time. And so I've had this like, I want to be in the spotlight. I don't want to be in the spotlight. I really do. Something's calling me to be more in the spotlight. And then, like, why on earth would I put myself through that? Can any of you at all relate to that inner dynamic? Yes. So, or some of you just wake up and go, "Give me the spotlight now," and I'm all good. Uh, so I think had it worse because I'm an Aussie, and in Australia we have what we call the tall poppy syndrome, which essentially means if you get a little too tall or a little too confident or a little too big for your britches, we're going to just cut you down to size. Just everyone should be the same. I love Australians. Do we have any Aussies on the line? Okay, I can talk about them behind the back. I love Australians, but it is a culture of play down your talents and play down your accomplishments. Be modest. Don't brag. So I grew up with that. So what did I do to get over my fear, really fear and trauma of shining and being bigger, being more expressive? I moved to America, like solved everything. It's like all these people when I came over for the first time were big and bold and self-promoting. When I first heard people like talking about their own thing, oh, that's awesome. Oh, I do this. It's really awesome. You're awesome. We're all awesome. I was like, is that legal? Truly, you're allowed to say that without getting your head cut off? I mean, it was extraordinary. And all joking aside, it has been very healing for me to live in this country for its many challenges, as we know. There is just a whole nother level of apologetic self-expression, leaning into entrepreneurship that just was not happening and still not happening in Australia and in many parts of the world. So very, very happy to be here. And then I wanted to put these practices together called Unshakable Presence for me because when I got to Fort Collins, Colorado from Oregon, which is where I landed first, I wanted to start my own business. I did not have a business myself. I was working for someone. I've been trying to start my own thing for a while, very scared about it. I don't know if anyone came from that of putting the brakes on for a few years before you leapt out of corporate or leapt out of somewhere. And I did not know anyone in Fort Collins. And the first place we end up going is the Fort Collins Chamber. I mean, literally, I remember it like now, like walking in there. Annie Keith, if anyone remembers Annie from back then, was like somewhere there. And of course, you meet her and you're like, where do I sign? What's going on here? It felt so light and so I just I love this area so, so much. And so that was helpful, but I didn't know what I was doing. Started meeting the connectors and realized no one was paying attention to me. No one was getting me. It was very, very difficult. So I was like, okay, I'm going to create these practices so people respond to me differently. Do you sometimes get that, whether it's in business or relationships or maybe on the dating world or anywhere? It was like, why aren't people receiving who I really am? Something's like not easy in that. Well, that was happening over and over again. So I was my first guinea pig practicing this work. And when I would do one or two of these practices and I would go out networking or I would speak or I would whatever, people were responding to me so differently. It was shocking. So I found 5 women who I was starting to get to know, didn't know very well. I said, would you like to come over to my living room and I'm going to teach you some of these practices and you're going to go out. They were all entrepreneurs. And within minutes of them really being in the presence work that I was teaching, they were like, people are responding to me differently. So from a little fledgling company called Five Women in My Living Room, within 6 months in Fort Collins, we had over 35 women a week coming to my little living room. And I think the reason is because people were asking them, what is going on with you? Like, what is happening? You look so different, but it wasn't the look, it was the feel. And of course, you and I know as entrepreneurs, we have to get people's attention. That's a big, big part of it. And now with social media and all of that, we have to be able to keep people's attention. We have to be, to a certain degree, very binge worthy, right? So to keep people engaged in that. And so I think that's why it grew so quickly to now 15,000 people have gone through the Unshakable Presence training. John and Andrew, many men were asking me for many years, why aren't I allowed to go to this? Why is there just women? And so we started the men's work for the same practices, and now we do it together because there really is no difference. It's just sometimes supporting men to be more in their what I would call masculine magnetic presence and women in their feminine magnetic presence, but even that is just a small part of it. So I have a few slides if you want to take some notes, but mostly it's going to be experiential here. Um, is there any of you, I don't know if I know I've met Yvonne, of course, and Rochelle from my team, but have I met anyone else here in person? Or are we just all new to each other today? I don't see anyone that's familiar. Most of my work now is international. People fly in for our events. It's not as local, but I do love being in the local community a lot. Okay, so just a few other things to really set this stage is Unshakable Presence is work. It changes how people respond to you. So, what aspects of your business are you wanting to awaken the room, right? Is that you want to awaken people when they're watching your videos? Is it, do you want to be a much better presenter and have leads coming all the time from your presentations or sales? Is it you want to awaken the room for your team? There's about 20 people on our team, 11 full-timers and others outside of that. Like, what is it? Because you put it in the chat. What kind of room are you trying to awaken? And if you did, it would exponentially grow your business. For me, it was mostly videos through social media and YouTube and through being able to speak to groups like this and grow from there. Because now, you know, sometimes it's hundreds of people in a ballroom kind of thing, but in it or anything in between. Just post that in the chat. I'd love to have a look at that in a moment. And also this work changes how you respond to uncertainty. Because when uncertainty is put in front of you in your business or in anything in your life, your presence, your ability to be solid, grounded, unshakable, inner peace massively goes down because of that uncertainty. And so if I put you in a front of a room of ideal clients, 500 of them, if you're not used to that on a live stream, you're going to get a little shaky. Can we agree? Right? Or if you want to speak to a larger group about your business, you're going to be a little more shaky. And so this is very much what has been the thing to stabilize my system when I have a lot of eyes coming on me because I was good at it singing, but I was terrible at it speaking. Terrible at it. I went to 4 years of Toastmasters to try to get over my fear, and it didn't quite work. I had to figure out what was going on internally to not have the feeling of pressure. Has anyone ever done a speech and you're like driving across town and you're like, why am I putting myself through this? Has anyone ever done that? You're like, what am I putting myself? Or you're all like, just, you know, it's the easiest thing ever. I was like, why am I putting myself through this? It's so nerve-wracking. So that changed with this work. And like Levon said, I'm TEDx speaker. I used all of these practices to grow the business, Inc. 5000 CEO. I've sold $30 million from stages all around the world. So I understand how to awaken the room to get people to lean into your offers, which is what Yvonne was wanting me to kind of lean into today to support everybody. Um, I've been in love with the love of my life for 20 years. I put that there because marriage is not always easy. And you need to have unshakable presence to be that. And I also used these practices to heal from a traumatic back injury that I had. I was in bed for 2.5 years at the beginning of my business career, a very challenging time, and started using this. So it can be really used to approach everything. And the last creation, manifestation, amazingness that I really zeroed in on using this work is to create the dream of Casa Sagrada. Has anyone been to the downtown? Yeah, so my husband and I bought this old church in downtown Loveland because we wanted our own retreat space, and it was falling down. It was in quite the state, and now a dream came true with having our own retreat space. And of course, we rent that out to other people who want to do events or weddings and celebrations of life and all of that. So maybe one day you can join us at one of our events there, or pop your head in and say hi. So essentially, there's two things that I think really are at the top of the tree when you awaken the room, whether it's camera, a physical room, a meeting, a pitch, is financial awakening. Right? I'm not all about the money, but this work has led to so much more revenue, so much more impact, and also spiritual awakening. That's the internal. And I don't mean spiritual religious. We have people from all over the world coming from lots of different spiritual backgrounds, but I think of that as highly receptive to the moment, highly receptive to what's in front of you with an unshakable inner peace. And that's why a lot of people come to our work too, is they want to finally have their system, their mind be silent, be still, while they are a badass in business and able to really, live on that edge. I call it the spiritual and successful. That's really what we're about. So, question for you, are you the inspirational face of your business? I presume everyone is here, or team, right? And how much resistance are you having to that right now? Because you are the demand creator. If you are the inspirational face of your business, the founder, the one marketing, the one that needs to be shooting the videos or doing the speeches or whatever, you are the demand creator. And that is not easy when you've got so many fires to be putting out. Am I the only one? I mean, isn't where you're at, if I could give you 10 hours back of your week, what would you be doing with that 10 hours? Actually, that would be a good coaching question. If I gave you 10 hours, well, AI is going to give you 10 hours every week for now into eternity, probably. But put in the chat, what would you be doing as the inspirational face of your business, needing to awaken the room? What would you put your time and energy into? Just pop it in the chat. I know for me, it would be content creation. I don't think of it as social media, because when I hear the word social media, I just want to like screw up my face and go. I think of it as content to build the trust, the know, like, trust factor. So I do more long form than just posting things. Um, 10 hours personal life. Yes. Thank you. Everyone's like, oh yes, that. Um, Training, content creation, yep. Storytelling, yes, yes, great. It's like building a body of work where people can binge you and move through your well, some people call it funnel or, client acquisition process much quicker. But you know that when you watch most videos or most content or even speaking, if you're marketing for your business, almost everyone, and I say this with all, due respect, almost everyone, you're going to want to scroll past. They might have a hook, but you're not going to want to watch them for 30 minutes. Or if they're in a room, you're going to quietly want to be checking your phone while they're giving that speech. Right? Now, virtual, it's even harder because I know you've got other tabs open right now and you're looking at other screens. And my job, if I'm to awaken the room and really get some change, is to have you not look at the other screen and look here and really feel into also what it is that you want. What is the gap? Where are you trying to go? And that is getting harder and harder and harder and harder. But if you master it, it's the game changer. It's really what changed it for me because people could feel the magnetism, meaning there's something to focus on and to stay there. And so I'm now helping founders and entrepreneurs be the most magnetic and compelling and influential person in the room in a way that feels very, very grounded and authentic and not forced because we don't want to feel that way and we don't want others to do that. So, um, are you resisting or is it a systems issue of why you're not being the content creator or the inspirational face of your business? Or is it a fear thing? Is it I don't want to put something out that no one's really gonna watch? What if you would be very honest with yourself, you do not need to write it in the chat. You can. What is it that keeps the cycle of not really being the inspirational face of your business at a 10x, 11x level? For me, it was very much, Robin, a fear of judgment specifically. Fear of judgment. What are they going to think? What are they going to say? Because, of course, my Australian heritage was like, you're going to get judged. So that's why these actually three practices I want to give you are for both awakening the room so people respond to you and how to be unshakable when all eyes are on you. So the first practice, you can put this on a post-it note. If you have a post-it note, it would be great. And what you would write down is, am I home? Am I home? And that means, am I home in my vertical core, in my body? So has everyone, I'm not a yoga person, but I know when I go past the yoga studios, there's the you know, energetic field and there's the core through the body and the energy centers on each, or maybe you're a Tai Chi person, or has everyone seen some version of you've got this bioenergetic field and your vertical core is going through. And so what I have realized is if I am inside, feeling embodied in my vertical core, you're going to respond differently to me if I'm in what I call my head bubble, which is hovering above, trying to come up with what I'm trying to say, look good, worry about judgment, whatever. So, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go into my head bubble and then I'm going to come back in my vertical core. And I want you to notice how you respond to me differently. And then you can put a word in the chat. Okay. So, I'm going to attempt to say the same thing. So, it's not about that, but it's about this. So, hear me going into my head bubble. I'm leaving my body, hovering here, which is where most people are most of the time. Hi, everyone. It's Rachael-Jayne. I'm so glad to be here today. Thank you, Yvonne, for having me. I appreciate you giving me the floor here to share about Unshakable Presence, which has really radically changed my life and shifted all sorts of things from wealth creation and business impact and my relationships and all of that. So I'm going to take you through a few practices to blah, 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 blah. How did you respond to me in that? What did you notice on your end? Yep, exactly. Instantly distracted. Anyone else feel that? Like, where?
Well, I'm gonna just say it. I just didn't feel like you cared that much about it, so it made me not care.
Interesting, right? It's the same thing. Yvonne knows I care about the what I do, but it disengages. Yes, your connection to the power of what you do disengages when you're in your head bubble. What else? Detached. Thank you, Andrew. Yes. Did anyone else feel that? Like there was this before connection, like we're in the same room here. Rachael-Jayne's talking to me, and then disconnection. It's like you're the hand, and that can create detached. Non-authentic. Anyone else feel that? Like, what is this person trying to say or do or prove? And I would presume you're not going to remember anything I say if I stay in that mode. You'll be nice because you're all lovely. You'll nod and you'll be like, oh, but you're not going to remember or really have it land in your experience. So now I'm going to go home into my vertical. Well, I'm kind of there because I'm so trained myself to like really, really be home. But what I'm doing, and we can all do this together, is imagine your vertical core is about as wide as your neck, going up all the way infinitely, all the way down to the center of the earth, but you're mostly focused right here, like a second spine. It's further back, sitting in front of your spine. And it's like getting a sense that you're inside your body, not noticing your body. If that is, oh, you're all doing great. I don't know, could you see that even in the tiles here? I'm seeing everyone. And what happened, interesting, interesting. What happened is now I'm magnetically drawn to all of you. I was like, oh, and I was before, but not like this. I call it stilling the room just as much as awakening the room. Yvonne, could you see that with everybody's tie? It was like that was really cool. So now you're in your vertical core, and when you've got eyes on you, or you have to land that pitch or run that meeting that's a little bit, shaky, your energy is going to come up out of there because of nervousness or trying or attachment to an outcome. So I focus more on my lower dantian, my lower energy center in my pelvis, 2 to 3 inches below the navel. So if you want to just feel more of the lower half of your body right now, and I'm going to do that as well as I'm speaking to you. And as you do, I want you to notice how do you respond to me differently now? Before in head bubble, you wrote the things, but how are you responding to me when I'm very centered in my pelvic space, in my vertical core, when I'm saying something, when I'm not saying something? Why I train most people first on lower is also gravitas, authority. And that's so important with awakening the room to get people to take action, is they want to feel your conviction, which is energetic first, not doesn't come through your words. So can you put a word in the chat? How are you responding to me now that wasn't distracted, non-authentic, detached? Is there anything that you're noticing? Yeah, thank you, Candace. It's focused. And the reason why there's a focus is because my energy is focused. Often I was told early on, you got to be big and like own the room. And no, 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 no. But I've done so many experiments. If you're too out there, there's nowhere to focus on. People get scattered. People like, oh, that person has magnetism, but you're not focused, retaining. And then when I'm home, again, I could talk about nothing of any significance for like a long time, and you would be focused on it because there's a focal point. Does that make sense? Right? Almost everyone is trying to think about the script and the words and the this, and am I getting that right? And I've just come to a place, it doesn't really matter here. More authenticity, more energy, right? And can you feel an awakening in you? Awakening of potential, awakening of yes, awakening of if I did more of this, I could lead. Like, what are you awakening to internally as I awaken my energy? What are you awakening to? It'll be different for each of you. When I feel someone who is really in their magnetic power, they awaken me to excellence. It's just always the way for me. It's just my personality. Like it awakens me to like, I want to be better. I want to be better. What is it for you? Right. I'm open to learning more and feeling the authentic. Yeah. Whatever it is, you can put it in the chat or not. But that's what I meant by awakening the room is another word for it is in training. You as the company lead or team lead in Yvonne's situation, because you've got many people in the organization, your job is to entrain them to the energy that you want them to be in. Whoever's got the floor entrains everyone else. If I gave the floor to Rochelle right now, she would start entraining to her energy. If I gave it to Sandra, we'd all be starting to entrain. So you could be very mindful of when you're training people to their head, to their overthinking, to go a little bit going to sleep to you, whatever it is. My job is to keep you awake and attuning to what it is you want, what it is you want. And then business, in my opinion, is just if what you want is what I can help you get, it's a match. If what you want is not what I can help, I'm going to refer you to somebody else. I think it's like that. But if you don't get people in their system awakened to this is what I want, this is what I could do, it's just words and it's always harder. You have to rely on your marketing and ads harder. And we don't want to do that. So the second practice I want to share is around the edge of your field. And I'll demonstrate what happens when you and others lose the power of awakening the listener or the viewer or that. Let me go to the other slide. So first practice is vertical core. Am I home? Put it somewhere you're going to see for the rest of the day. And just when you see it, drop into your lower dantian, 2 to 3 inches below the navel. And what I've practiced over the years, Yvonne, is like when I see two eyeballs, I'm like, am I home? And I see another two eyeballs, am I home? Because I know if I'm not, you're not really engaged or connected. If I am, we're locked in. We're locked in. And I believe it's our role as the founder or as the inspirational to lock people in to your message. It's not there. It's not, we can't blame it on them, right? Oh, everybody's too busy. It's our responsibility and we can be much better at it. So the second practice is around the edge of your field, which is the transmission of what your energy is doing. So let me show you here. I have an energy field that I want. You could write these two words down. I want them to be expanded and contained. If you want to awaken the room, your energy has got to be expanded, meaning larger. You're not like too constricted in your head, da, 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 but also contained because we need something to focus on and we need to feel what that focus is. Because when you're contained in your field, people will feel the authentic you. They will kind of know who you are. They'll get a sense of your personality faster, the competence that you bring, the superpowers you bring. If you're not contained, they're not going to feel it. So you're going to have to, again, like marketing language, proving, blah, 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 right? So we want them to kind of feel it. So this is me expanded and contained. You can kind of feel what it's like to listen to me speak. And maybe you can tune in a little bit to, do you get a sense of who I am pretty easily? My level of um, competence in what I do. Um, Maybe even to the point she's a little goofy. She's a little this, she's a little that. Now, if I shrink my field, this is what happens. Well, hi everyone. I'm so glad to be here today and to do this work. I am going to purposely be loud because that's what I've been told to do at Toastmasters or other places and to move my hands. But you might be able to feel that just my energy feels just a little too tight. And this is what happens often to me because I was trained early on to shrink. Now, what happens in the way you respond to me when I'm shrinking my energy field and trying to get across to you that this work is very, very powerful and worthwhile, at least doing a few hours or days of training to blah, 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 blah. Right? That's shrinking. You can put a word in the chat, but I know from 15 years of doing this, you're going to say that anxious, you feel a little more anxious, you feel like I'm trying too hard, you feel like you want to save me, all of that stuff. Getting over a cough from. So that's shrinking. The other way that people do it is non-containing, which means they're throwing their energy out. Who's experienced someone the last week that's just like a little too much, a little too much. We got lots of head nods there. So this is me non-containing because I've been told that I should be large and be, magnetic. And it's just too much because there's no containment. And the third way that people disrupt their magnetism and their compelling and influential quality is what I call diffusing. Let me see if I can do that. Diffusing means there's no edge. It's like a oil diffuser, you put the hot water and it just diffuses across the house. And this is me when I diffuse my energy and want to get your attention that this work is really powerful and worth a few hours or days of blah, 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 right? It's just gone. I'm in Nebraska, literally. It's just there's nothing there. So everyone here defaults to one of those three things: shrinker, non-container, or diffuser. And it is massively affecting your revenue and marketing and content and all of it. And no one's pointed it out because we don't learn this in high school, right? So, can I have someone as a volunteer who would like to share what they do what they're about, and we can do a little bit of a hot seat of one or two things that would shift the way that you're awakening the room. We'll redo it, and we'll see that I can make anyone the most magnetic and influential person in the room. So just wave your hand if you're willing to be the a courageous person. Fortune favors the bold, doesn't it, Robin? It does. All right, so I'm going to spotlight you and I'm going to spotlight me so we can see you there. Awesome. Awesome. So, Robin, I'll just have you share what you do, why you love what you do, and then I'll do a time. And I want everyone to be paying attention to her awakening the room, to the response you have to Robin.
Well, I am Robin Baker with the People Factor. I work with small businesses, nonprofits, and ministries on their HR, um, just their human resources, for being a resource for them because most of them don't have that resource, and that falls on either an executive director or lead pastor or the small business owner. And so I provide those resources for them.
Thank you. Thank you. And what had you start that work?
Ooh, I started years ago in HR and several months ago decided to go out on my own. Well, years ago I decided to go out on my own. It just took me until several months ago to actually do it. And that way I can provide and be a value and a resource for more than people than just in one organization.
Yeah. That's great. And do you, when I was doing shrinker, non-container, diffuser, was there any that was like, I feel like I might be doing that when I have a chance to speak? Did one
Um,
seem more?
I would say overall shrinker because not that you can tell right now because my voice is horrible, but typically I'm a very loud and boisterous, I guess is a good word, person. And all my life, I'm from the South, and I was told, I was resonating when you were talking about that in Australia. It's like, you know, as my father would constantly shush me and, okay, just sit over there and ugh, you're being too loud, and so constantly having that, being told that. I actually was
Yes.
told that in a performance evaluation and put on a performance improvement plan that said I was too loud. And I said, that's a character thing, not a performance thing. You're just attacking me as a person. But and so just constantly trying to, you know,
Yes.
beat that.
Yes. Okay. So that's great. That's great. And um, so I'm going to have you reintroduce yourself. And I want you, what I see for Robin is it's not so much of a shrinking of her field. She's been told to shrink, using our words for today, but what's happening is more diffusing.
Mm,
It's like kind of letting the energy go than being tight. And that's probably for the same reason. Like I can't hold the magnetism and the boisterous or the power, actually, I would say. You have a powerful presence.
mm,
And to hold that versus letting it go. So I want you not to be ramping up power, but just feel where the edge of your field is, an arm's length out. Everybody can do this right now. Where is your arm's length out where the edge of your field is? And I want all of your energy inside that field, not out seeping away. And then I want you very much in that central point of your pelvis. So for about 30 seconds, you're going to speak. It's going to be very there, and you're going to be feeling your radiance, of course. You've got a big light globe and a big power, radiance that you have. But it's not going to be let go. You're going to feel it right here, right now. Does that make sense?
yes, I think so. Yeah.
Great, 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 great. So, Robin, what do you do and why do you love what you do?
I provide a resource for small businesses, nonprofits, and ministries in human resources so that the lead pastor or executive director or owner doesn't have to do that.
Pause. Now, everyone listening, what did you notice in you? What I noticed, Robin, is the first time who you were working with went in one ear and slightly out the other. And now I'm leaning, I'm latching on to the types of people. Does anyone else just pop your hand up if you notice that? It's like it's sticking.
Well, I kind of noticed the first time she spoke, I thought, oh, she's new. She's starting this out. What referrals can the chamber make? Because that's our job. And I was like, I don't really know who to refer her to. And now I know. I'm like, I know exactly who to refer you to or refer them to.
That's right. And that was through no change of her words. It was all change of energy. But it makes sense in a way of like energy is dispersing, focus
Mhm.
disperses, energy doesn't disperse. Now energy is remembered. Yeah. You have a powerful, centered, protective energy. I feel like if I was to hire you, you would protect me. Is that right?
I would do what I could to for sure.
There's like kind of a like this kind of a like I'm really wanting to go into bat for my people. That's that energy I feel from you. It's not so much my energy, even though I do. I would, but it's coming across really strong for you. So you can trust that. Like you've got my back.
Sure.
I feel that immediately and we don't know each other. Right? Can you give Robin some love this morning? Round of applause, however you want to do that. Thank you for saying come on down into the hot seat. Appreciate you. I will mute you out there and we'll go back to the main room here. Okay, so one other thing, and you can put in the chat if you feel like you're a shrinker or diffuser or non-container or what you are. But today I want you to just be aware of it, right? And feel into that. I've got a free training that's coming up. I'll put a link in a little bit if you want to really go into this with me and figure out these things and do more. But yeah, thank you. Uh, it'd be good just to be aware of it, where how much you're outside of your field, outside of your vertical core. The next piece that I think is so important, and it's one of my superpowers that I didn't realize, is helping people make full decision, meaning they're all in. Because I was seeing so much entrepreneurs, leaders, people we work with aren't all entrepreneurs. Many of them are because they have to be the ones awakening the room, but sometimes they're leaders, executive directors, corporate, that they would come in and they would be like, this wasn't working or this wasn't working, and they're hiring me to help it work. And I would be, this person is not all in. Like they say that they've decided they want this, or they decided they want to scale, or, whatever it is, find a wonderful relationship. But energetically, I could see they were not all in. And what I just know is that if you're not all in on this next goal that you have, or whatever it is, energetically as well as mentally, it's going to be hard. Who believes that too? Can you see that in your own life of when you're like, I'm all in versus what I call hedging your bets? I'm going to throw it out to the universe and see what happens. I'm going to try a few things, and if it doesn't work, I'm going to take that as a sign. No, no, no. All freaking in. So you want to be thinking too around where am I not all in, particularly in relationship to awakening the room. When you see me speak, if you come to Casa Sagrada or somewhere, you're going to see someone who is all in on that moment, because that's also what creates impact that I'm trying to make for people. But the two decisions I want you to be making today is, what is unshakable presence worth to you? And I mean financially for business. I think it's worth a lot in your relationships. But essentially, what I like getting people to dial into is, how much more money do you think you could make in your business or in your membership drive for the chamber if you had unshakable presence? People were responding, you stilled the room, you awakened the room. How much more money do you think you could make? I want you to write that down for yourself per year. When I thought about this early on of whether I was all in on these lovely, cute little practices that were working, I was like, this is badass. I wrote down $100,000 a year. I thought I could make $100,000 revenue in my business more a year. I did not realize it was going to be multi-millions per year. It is that powerful. And I want you to feel into that, because sometimes when you can see the end goal, it's easier to remember, I should remember to be home while I'm speaking at this next chamber event, or I should be remembering to be contained. Otherwise, it just kind of becomes some other tool in your toolbox. And the other decision is around, what kind of speaker or communicator do you want to be? I personally think if you can be an extraordinary or even great speaker, not professional speaker paid, just communicate speaker, it is going to open exponential doors for you. Exponential. I didn't realize that because I was scared of speaking. Then when I put this work in, I'm like, oh, and now it's just become some huge piece of the business. So what kind of speaker do you want to be? Do you want to be a B speaker? You want to be an A speaker? You want to be extraordinary? You have to make that decision. And I don't have time to go into this, but for those of you that are very committed to your own spiritual path, your own inner unshakable path, this work has been the thing that allowed me to move from pretty happy, amazing person, great life, to a shift in psyche and stillness in my body to unshakable inner peace. Profound shift happened to me in 2018 that has not left. So if anyone is on that path too, we should talk, we should connect, because it's can radically open up why you might be sometimes in a place of stillness and peace, and other times it just comes back and the mind's going. So this is Casa Sagrada, and I'd love to invite you to a complimentary training because you're just around the corner. You're invited to a live intensive, and my live intensives, mostly people coming in from outside the area, and they're 3 days because I want a significant growth impact versus an afternoon, or to do this again, which is hopefully been valuable to you and Yvonne and the group. But if you really want to go deeper with this work for your business, for your speaking, for your wealth, for your health, for your relationships, and become the most magnetic and compelling person in the room, then I would love to invite you to Spiritual and Successful. Rochelle on my team will put a link in the chat. And this is for the chamber members. If you go to our site, it's a paid ticket. There's 2 dates. If you click on that link in the chat, you'll go and see a video. You'll see all the things that we're learning, the modules that you'll be doing. And the dates are May 29 to 31st, August 14, 16. If you have any questions, pop them in the chat. And Rochelle will put our email address too, so you can reach out to us. But essentially, it's about getting the brakes off, to dissolving the core fears that have you not show up in the full awakening of your power and your presence and your calls to action. Less avoidance, more income. It is essentially about magnetic presence. You're going to learn my best tips and tools and practices. You're going to be in the room doing dyads. It's very experiential. It's not me talking at you for 3 days. You're going to get feedback on that. And the level of you being able to speak and sell with more ease is going to go up significantly. And I'm going to help you become binge worthy. Like, people just want to keep hearing you and listening to you for minutes and minutes and hours and hours and hours. It's about your wealth frequency, which is, to me, creating more of an exciting vision that propels you to the next version of you, and to also really come into your authority signal, have that become clear. Your personal brand, which I think is only going to be more important with AI and with the noise and trying to get people's attention. People follow people, they don't follow companies. So we're doing a lot on day 2 around personal brand, which is how we built our multi-million-dollar per year training company and personal brand. It's through me being the face, and unshakable inner peace, getting off the mental and emotional roller coaster for good. So you have less reactivity and more energy. So the great news is that it's $997. We usually have a discount on our website, but it is going to be completely free. And I had a complete mistake here. I do not have 40 free tickets. It was supposed to be 4 free tickets because it's a small group. And May is close to sold out. We've got a few spaces left. So if anyone here would love that, you can just sign up today. It is a special for today because I'm part of the chamber, and doing this helped me get the word out about what we're doing. You'll just pay a 197 refundable deposit, and then you'll receive that back on day 1. And if you sign up today, I'll give you a copy of my ebook version of Unshakable Inner Peace, which is my 3rd best-selling book. So that is the invite. What questions do you have, if any, as we close out this experience? And pop in the chat questions, and what's your big takeaway from today for yourself? What are you leaving with? And if you want to pop your Zoom hand up and ask me a question directly, you can do that too. And Yvonne's kind of psychic. She'll always know what questions you have. So like if you have a sense of what people might want to ask. Yeah, great. Being engaging takes practice for sure. My job is to close the gap if it's going to take you a year and only take you a few days. Anyone else have a takeaway from you?
I just think for me, it's a really good reminder about, um, you talked about just the presence and your authenticity, because when you feel passionate about what you're doing and what you're talking about, when you're showing that to the people that you're talking to,
Yeah,
then they're going to feel engaged and interested. And you kind of almost build a trust with them in that very short period of time because you're
yeah.
appearing very open.
Yes. Thank you. Well said, because being open is it. It's I'm an open book here. I'm attempting to be open book, helpful, not performative. But to do that when I don't know any of you except Yvonne, and you might judge and all. It's very hard to have the body and system in that open place. And so if you can do that, take these into some of your speaking skills, your sales skills. I know that that number that you wrote down, what you can earn more a year, can radically increase with everything that you're already doing. It's kind of like the fuel on the marketing fire that you already have. Thank you so much for having me. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day practicing Am I Home? And you can save the link in the chat if you need to go and look at that later or email us. But it's 4 tickets for today. Send you a link to my book. And thank you, Yvonne, for inviting me. I appreciate it so much.
Yeah, thank you so much. This has been a great session, and we will send this recording out to all of you and everyone who registered. And this the slides and the recording will also be on our website. So if you need to go back to it or refer to it, then please do that. So, well, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and we've got a lot to work on this afternoon, don't we?
Me too.
Thank you.
Have a great one, everyone. Thanks
See
so
you,
much.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.